Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It's Pro Wrestling Weekly. As you can see on the screen, we got a full panel there. Everyone's in house tonight, so it should be a belter of a show. We will be taking a look back at OTT No Limits and May the Force be with you. Sean will walk us through them, no doubt. I have the slide anyway, Sean, if you don't have it in front of you. We'll also be talking about a recap on Raw. Well, let's see what else have I got here. We'll be talking about Hulk Hogan's new federation. We'll be talking about TNA wanting to cut down on getting colour and blood. We'll have a quick look at Backlash. We have a little bit of history there as well. We'll be talking about the releases that happened this week. Some interesting ones in there. Get the lads' thoughts on that. We'll be talking about the gouging of SummerSlam. 40 grand for a front row ticket. Not good at all. And anything else you want to throw into the chat, we will talk about it as well. If you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, but drop a like in the video. And of course, give the boys a follow on their socials as well. They're out there. They're on Instagram and Twitter and everything else. Make sure you hit them up and give them a follow as well. Or maybe not. Look, no, we're not out there. No. Ian's in. What's the crack, Niall? All good, brother. Good to see you. Vanna White's in again, was here last night. Thank you for dropping in again. Really, really appreciate it. So where do we begin, lads? Lads, we'll begin with OTT. Why not start at home? Sean. Mac.
Yes. The show was called The Reckoning, and it turned out it was a reckoning. I think this show changed the trajectory of OTT and how it's going forward. And unfortunately... it was good seeing you boys. Hope to catch you next week. no, I knew it was coming. Is that? Did you draw that yourself? It looks great.
It looks well, doesn't it? I did didn't I? I told you I'd look after you after last week's show because last week's show was a belter.
You got the facial. Just go back to that slide. Let me see if I can pull that face. Yeah, close enough.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Yeah,
not too bad at all.
All right,
pretty close. Well, see, I was thinking if I had asked you for a headshot, you'd know what I was up to. So I said I'd keep it as a surprise.
Yeah, it's certainly not for the fucking thumbnail, is it? No.
Maybe, could be.
Yeah, but as I was saying, something happened at this show, and it seems like OTT is going in a new direction, and that is not in a good way. And I'll get to that when I come to it. But to start off, Dara Lynch didn't have a match. Shock. And he just wanted to play his guitar, and the mammy said that, my son is a great wrestler, and I think he can take anyone in that locker room. And out comes the NLW champion, Jay. Jay came out, beat him in, I said, 2 minutes. Not too much to talk about. He got chopped a good bit. And he ran with his tail between his legs and his guitar in his right hand. And then the modern-day Maharaja himself, Raj Desi, he was the real drawing power of the show. I remember when Joe made the announcement Scrapper was cancelled, or not cancelled, postponed. He said, "Thank you for your support. Anyway, we're going to be in the Ambassador. Jinder Mahal is going to be there. Come." So he defeated CBL in a very good match. CBL has made waves everywhere, but he hasn't got a win yet in OTT. That streak seems to continue. Raj Desi took a bit of issue with his manager, Peter Gandhi. Obviously, Raj Desi is Indian, and Peter Gandhi is... not from India. He said, call himself after the great Gandhi. The only thing he compared Gandhi, as in the Gandhi from the film with Benny King, whatever his name is, and Peter Gandhi, the legend of Longford GAA. He said the only thing that makes them similar is the build, because Gandhi is a gentleman of a slightly larger stature. Desi defeats CBL. Desi came out and said, "Hey Dublin," gets a pop. "Hey Dublin." He's like, forget this. You're not working for me. Shocking, terrible place. He does the "you people" promo, and it works. Gets crowd behind CBL, which isn't a hard thing to do. But unfortunately, CBL has still not got a win in OTT. And before this match, they were teasing splitting him with CBL and Gandhi. I think that might have to happen because since Gandhi's joined his side, CBL is extremely popular, but he hasn't got a win. And the wins need to count even if the matches are good. Anyway, Cheeky Little Buggers, which was Alexis Falcon and Charles Crowley, defeated Raven Creed and the Sem. Of course, Charles Crowley and the Sem were best friends. Charles Crowley turned his back on the Sam, and Raven Creed is just here. But it seems like we're getting Alexis Falcon, Raven Creed, because Alexis Falcon pinned Raven Creed clean. The OTT Women's Champion got pinned clean on the show. And Jamie Coleman said on commentary, if I'm Alexis Falcon, I'm telling Joe, hey, I just pinned your world champion. Bring me back, you baldy prick. That's his words, not mine, that last bit. And I thought, that's a bit harsh. Come on. And then I saw what happened at the end. And I'm like, no, he's that's apt. Cian Noon defeats LJ Cleary. This is actually probably my most anticipated match of the show. It absolutely delivered. These two have had a history. LJ has beaten Cian once. Then Cian beat LJ, but LJ had his foot under the rope. So LJ is saying, like, you didn't beat me, like, your foot was under the rope. But Cian's like, I don't care, like, what you can spin it as. The records will say that I beat you. And he wants to do it clean. So really physical match. LJ, I think this is the most heelish he's been in his career. I think he's going towards a heel turn. I like that because he's really, really good. And he's done so much. Being an arrogant arsehole who has like a superiority complex above everyone else, I think suits him down to the ground. It seems that's the direction we're going, especially what happened in Belfast after. But Cian Noon got the win. Oh, take a deep breath. And then the OTT tag team title match. The new champions, Sammy D and Trent Seven, defeated the Social Elite. Sammy D and Trent Seven, of course, came second and third in this year's local Rumble, which meant they had to team up. Initially, not very happy about it, but they got their stuff together, managed to defeat the Social Elite. I think they held the belts for 469 days, which is the most if you don't count British Strong Style, but they held it all through COVID. So like they held it for like 800 and something days. But the Social Elite were up to this point the longest reigning tag champs in history, and now Trent Seven and Sammy D have taken them away. Really, really, really good match. A bit of a shock though, because the Social Elite are that good, and it looked like we were getting a program of the Social Elite in BDE, because there's a promo backstage where BDE ran into their locker room and said, like, I can't believe we're not getting the title shot, but two like gobshites who were just thrown together are enough for tag team to get a shot. So that looks like where we're going. And now the European title. Bell rings, lariat, or no, bell rings, spear, spear, lariat, pin. Charlie Sterling is not Charlie Sterling, Golden Boy Santos, excuse me, is new European champion. Charlie Sterling in the promo leading up to this went back to his roots, sitting in a palace, drinking tea, and he tried like this Portuguese dessert. I can't remember what it was, but he started like gagging on it. And then he blew his nose in a tricolor handkerchief. You know, Sterling got so much heat back in the day. I feel he kind of lost that, but he really went back to his roots and made him very, very, very hard to cheer for. But then Santos is so likable. Now, I'm very happy he won. Good on Charlie Sterling to get his arse whipped and then thrown out like a piece of shit. But I would have liked, I think this match could have absolutely used a full length.
Was there a story behind the 13 seconds or why that was the case?
No, I don't think so. I don't.
No?
Well, I can give you. Well, the history is that they were in the European title match, gauntlet match, at the 10th year anniversary, and the last man Sterling beat to win was Santos. And then at the last show in the Ambassador, it was actually CBL versus Charlie Sterling, and CBL got injured, so Peter Gandy made a substitution.
Okay.
You know, being the football coach. And Golden Boy Santos came in, and Charlie Sterling got himself counted out. That's it, really. I don't know. 13 seconds. It's a shock. I think it was time for Sterling to drop the belt, but I think they could have achieved the same result with the proper match.
Okay.
And the main event, and this is where things go a little south. That's me. Big Damo retains the OTT World Championship against Be Cool. Obviously, Be Cool won the local Rumble for a second time this year, which guaranteed him this shot against Big Damo. I think some people thought he was going to win, and people weren't looking forward to it because I don't think if he did win, they were going to capture the feeling that we got at Scrappermania last year when he won. And they were right, but there's a bit of tomfoolery. There was 3 different referees at this point. All of them bar one got bumped. So Damo went for the Vader splash on the Vader bomb, I should say. That is the splash on Be Cool. Be Cool pulled Tom Scarborough, who was the referee that match, on top of him. So then Tom Scarborough would take the the Vader bomb. And then Foxy came in. Foxy got taken out. And then Joe Cabray comes in. You think Joe Cabray's Biku's friend. He's going to be the referee. It's fine. So a couple of near falls on both ends. And then Biku gets Damo for the brainbuster. Lands all of it. Cabray counts 1, 2. And then he stops. It looks like he's pulled his back out because he's grabbing at his back. And then he smiles and he stands up and he starts pointing, and we realize what's going on. And then he hits Biku with the armor explosion. Then drapes Big Damo's arm across him, fast counts, and gets out. Biku has been cost the OTT World Championship by Joe Cabray.
His coach.
Yes, his mentor, his friend. So, really sold his soul, just like a certain John Cena.
Deal, Sean.
You can't let this go, can you?
No, I can't let this go. No, just comparing, but also fuck John Cena. And that's how I felt when I heard. A really, really good show. Very interesting direction. Part of me feels, and I'll talk about it when we talk about Belfast, we could have a new alliance formed with Joe and a couple of other people. I hate to say it, but we could have another, this fills me with great dread, another authority on our hands, if you will, but for OTT. But a really good show, a shocking end, and sets up a very exciting path. And it was clear on this show that Callum Black, who Big Damo defeated, Callum Black was going to face the winner, Damo and Be Cool. And Jamie Coleman, the commentator, are fully on board with Cabray, but it doesn't seem like everyone else is. But I'll give you a quick run through. LJ defeats CBL. Great match. I will say, as of now, I don't actually think the show is uploaded. So I haven't watched it, but I have seen the results, so I can give you a debrief. Maxted defeats Ilya Zarkov. European title match, Santos, new champion Santos, retains against Bonesaw. Good to see Bonesaw back. I think the last time, can't even remember the last time that the Kings were in Belfast or any member of the Kings. BDE defeats the Social Elite. Obviously, we said that BDE ran into them last night. Now, the Belfast Rumble match, this was originally meant to be for a shot for the NLW title. At the last minute, just said, nah, just who cares? Just we'll make it for the NLW title. So Jay, the champion, retained, got rid of CBL, Darrell Lynch, Limo, Boots Murphy, who I think has turned heel. I think he was annoyed, and now he's saying that Boots Murphy's dead, so interested to see where that goes. Keane Noonan, who beat LJ last night. Con Kelly from Clonus, not too far from me and Sean's part of the woods. Eli Zarkov, the gang leader, Jay Steins. It's absolutely criminal that he hasn't got more use. His gimmick is he's a gangster, and his Titantron is the NWA straight out of Compton. All 5 boys, and then he's there on the right, which is as authentic as they come. He's got street cred. Raven Creed was in here as well, as was Renzo, who is setting up to face Jay for the NLW title. Let's say it's Scrapper, depending on when that is. Terry Thatcher, who spoke out about Joe, said I wasn't there any bastard, but heard what happened. Bullshit. And then Joe just said, FAO, Terry Thatcher, go fuck yourself. So it seems like Joe was very dead set in his ways. But Jay remains the NLW champion. And then the main event, a big meat fest. Big day. That sounds wrong. Sorry, I meant to say a meat fest. Christ, a meat clash. Two big lads, Damo and Callum Black. Callum Black's been on a roll. Defeated former OTT World Champion Omari in his hometown Drogheda about 2 weeks ago. So he's been on a roll. Couldn't get the job done against Damo, but I feel gold is in his future because he's good, but he's also aligned himself with Joe Cabray. So very interesting weekend of shows. Shame that Cabray couldn't handle Be Cool winning the OTT World Championship, so he felt he had to interject himself and destroy, just like John Cena, destroy wrestling. So very interesting to see where it goes from there, but a very, very, very good show. And we'll have to see where the cards will fall. I think we're in for a very interesting new direction for OTT as we speak.
There we go. Nice. Nicely summed up there. Well done. Right, let's get into Raw. Let's talk about Raw. Very interesting episode of Raw. Brian, kick us off there first, and then we get Sean in. Sean O, give us his thoughts.
The start of Raw was brilliant. Jay came out, he did his usual thing. And to be honest, I thought this was going to be paint by numbers, call out Logan. Logan come out and a bit of shenanigans happens. That's what I thought was going to happen. He does the whole run the thing again, jumps on the ropes. The fans love that. I'm not mad about the whole yeet thing myself. I don't think it suits me, but the fans are mad about that. And then Paul Heyman comes out. And this was brilliant. And then by my estimation, I think this is the best promo Paul Heyman has ever cut. He came out and he basically explained a few things. And the thing about it is you're booing Paul Heyman and you're like, you've kind of done over the tribal chief there. Everything that he says was not a lie. And you can kind of see the fans as well saying, boo. And then they were like, well, actually, yeah, we kind of get that because he called Roman for what he was, which was a manipulator. He called Jay a hypocrite. You left the bloodline as well. But by my estimation, two things happened there. Best promo I've ever seen Paul Heyman cut, in my opinion. And I actually thought the end of this show ended with Seth Rollins lifting the title. I thought you were going to pull the trigger on it now and take the belt off Jay. I loved it. How did you feel about it, Sean?
I thought it was good. This was one of the sections of Raw I actually quite enjoyed. As you said, Paul, that was probably one of his best promos at the start of Raw. And the match itself, the world title match, was brilliant. I'm loving the new angle they're taking with Seth. I think it's a very bloodline-esque type thing. It kind of stays in the bloodline family in the way that, Seth is kind of the tribal chief now in a way. I think Braun fits in to that group so well and definitely a future world champion. So it was good.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really good as well. I thought when Logan hit him with that punch out of the crowd as well, I thought that was electric. It's just so good, like the way they did it. Where are we going? Penta defeated JD McDonough. Sean Mack, Penta JD McDonough. They sold us on it last week when he was on the ground and Penta was on the desk, didn't he?
Yeah, great to see JD back and in good health. Happy you're okay. Anyway, you can be putting over Penta. He's probably heard that a lot. Good to see you back. Hope you're well. Anyway, tonight you're going to be, right back down to reality. But this was still a great match. I didn't get to see Raw live, so I caught it on Netflix, and it skips the picture-in-picture action that you normally get when they go on ad breaks. So I didn't see JD get too much offense in this match. I presume he got possibly a little bit more than what Netflix showed me. But this was a really, really good match. I mean, JD is just phenomenal, but I still think that he is worth a lot more than just putting people over and being bumping fodder for the Judgment Day. And I think it sets up a very interesting and exciting match at Backlash, Dominic and Penta for the title. And I liked, did you notice, the Penta had, not a new theme, but they added Adam Jones from Tool playing the guitar. And Michael Cole said, it's Adam Jones from Tool playing a very special guitar technique. Like guitar technique. I'm like, it's just Adam Jones playing guitar. But isn't it amazing how that really... Same with Damian Priest. They gave him that theme he has now, and then they added Kerry King from Slayer at the start. So they put in Kerry King for the All Rise Def Rebel shite that they absolutely love. I think Def Rebel have taken an oath under God to have the superstar's name or something they say at the start of every song. Like, it's ridiculous. But isn't it amazing how all they did was take that out and put Kerry King in there, and it feels so much better. Same thing happened with Penta. Sounded really, really good. And I think if Def Rebel if Def Rebel aren't going to go, and I don't think they will, if they collaborate with other artists to add more to themes, I could possibly forgive them staying a little bit longer. But no, great win for Penta. Would be nice if JD, I always complain about John Cena never winning matches anymore. JD winning a match every now and then wouldn't harm anyone, especially if you want to establish the Judgment Day as still being a big thing, even though they're very much not. But no, great win for Mr. Pentagon Jr.
Absolutely. Brand Sheamus defeated Austin Theory. See the picture there, Austin Theory selling like a champ.
It was absolutely outstanding. And to see Sheamus back was deadly as well. And it was rough. So some of the shots that Sheamus is, he hasn't missed a beat. And they're bringing up that Intercontinental Championship again. And I think I'm going to be at the SmackDown, and I hope he wins that Intercontinental belt at the SmackDown event here in Dublin. But yeah, it was great to see Sheamus back. Austin Theory, he is a diamond. That man, he should have his day. Similar to what Sean was saying there about JD McDonough, Austin Theory should have his day as well. But wasn't it just deadly seeing Sheamus come back and just battering people? Because that's what he does. Like, he doesn't just, like, he runs through people. It's fantastic. It was great to see Sheamus back. And yeah, I thought this was deadly.
Yeah, his interviews even on Mania week, even though he wasn't heavily involved, he was involved in the world and stuff and doing the Celtic Warrior workouts and all that kind of stuff. But you can see his appetite for it is still there, and how excited he was to be involved, even on the outskirts, which was kind of cool. So yeah, you can see he's well into it still. Like, so it's pretty cool. Like,
we had a mural of Sheamus in Cabra, not Cabra. Where is it, on the Navan Road? Are you familiar with it?
Yes, I see as I go there. Is it still there?
They've just removed it.
No.
They painted over it.
Oh my God.
Listen, Dublin County Council are going to strongly word a letter off me.
Get him out.
Put Sheamus back there. Get the flowers off the box. It's time to put Sheamus back in his rightful place.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd throw that bit in there. And also as well, Niall, sorry, the lead up to that, where Austin Theory was in the back and Waller was like, that was very good. That was really good as well. I thought that was really cool.
They play really well off each other. They really do complement each other really well.
Good.
Sean, Becky and Lyra get into a brawl. What's your thoughts on this? A lot of people, Keith was saying earlier, he's not sure whether he's emotionally invested in it, strongly connected with it and all that. How do you feel about this? It's kind of like a bit... does it feel a little bit forced or something like that people aren't grabbing onto it?
I kind of got this feeling myself, actually, and you know how big of a fan I am of both Lyra and Becky, and Lyra is doing the work of her career since she became champion. She you can tell she wants to be there. Her promos have gotten so much better. She's really standing her ground as a champion. But, and there is a but, I did notice last night when they did get into the brawl, it did look, wrestling, it looks that bit forced anyway. That's wrestling, but it just didn't seem very real. It wasn't very convincing, as you would say, some of the blows, instead of going, oh, you just whatever, okay. Yeah, it just looked a bit forced, and I think the whole crowd is kind of more confused than anything. What is Becky? Is she heel? Is she babyface? Is she in between? I think the whole crowd's just kind of confused at this point, because it's been the same character ever since she became the man. She still is the man, but it's a question of what is she. It's feeling a bit forced at this point. So I don't know. I feel like they've kind of gone as far as they can go with the man aspect. So I'd like to kind of see at Backlash maybe it takes some sort of turn, some sort of angle, something new, something fresh.
Yeah, we kind of get Sean Mack. We kind of get this mix of Northside Dublin and Eastern Seaboard American coming through, don't we, in these promos?
Yeah, it's like a fork on a plate to my ears here. The two of them clash. To American palates, they're probably like, I don't understand a word of this. They probably think they have the Spanish on Netflix. Oh God, I'm just saying something. Can I just have a single point?
You seem pretty angry to me, Sean.
I'm not angry. Shut up. Anyway, no, I agree with can't remember who said it, but it does feel a little bit forced. I don't think Lyra has mastered kind of feeling. I feel bad saying this, but like honest and sincere. It seems like what she's saying is a bit robotic and a bit forced. And Becky, yeah, I mean, they're certainly better than they were, but I don't think it's up to par. And Becky, I don't know. I kind of grew tired of the man and then tired of Big Time Bex. And I wasn't very happy when she came back. Not because I don't like Becky, but because it didn't seem like it was worth going to do all this just to get rid of Bailey. I don't know.
I think It's probably to put the Intercontinental belt on Becky. I think anyway.
Yeah.
I think and LJ Cleary got a mention as well last night, so that's not a bad thing as well.
Yeah,
she did mention.
It was a bit of an insult more than a mention, but we'll take it. Anyway, you know?
that Cleary fella, he needs a haircut and an ego check. And Keane Noonan gave him that much. Niall, what happened to your lights there? It looked like Triple H is coming out in your room.
No, the lights went dark and I had to put the other lights on to get my good side, you know.
Oh, I saw green and red and orange.
Wanted to show the last of my Vegas stand. There you go.
Yeah, but no, I'm more excited for the match than this promo probably gave away. I don't know, but then people are calling Becky Hogan. And I think if she beats Lyra and gets the title, that's not going to go away. And I don't believe that. I think
Did you see her response to it?
Yeah, she wasn't very happy.
She went in hard on him, all right. A lot of people seem to be going in hard on Hogan in the last week or so. What's going on? Have WWE said have a crack at this guy or what?
Well, he hasn't done himself.
He called Shelton Benjamin. Belted. What was it?
Benjamin Shelton.
Benjamin Shelton.
An MVP.
He said he's real.
See Shelton's response.
It's class.
Yeah, Shelton put up the Will Smith thing, yeah.
Unless he's reading his name off a list of like attendees where it has the surname first or something. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't do himself any favors and easy pickings, I suppose. And Becky, she's angry in this character because she feels like everything's owed to her because she's had to work so hard. But no, I'm sure the match will still be good. But this didn't work too much for me, brother.
Do you not think it's time to take the belt off Lyra? Like, as in, I think take the belt off Lyra and then let her build up more momentum in the chase to get it back.
Maybe
bring out more of a character.
But then again, this is a new belt, and they want to like make it the future. And it feels if you put it on someone like Becky, who's so established already, it kind of derails that. We should be building a mid-card division, and certainly not releasing half the people in it, which we'll probably get onto later. But no, I think
fighting with her jacket.
Yeah, I think the match will still be good, but this promo, flattered to deceive.
Ian, how dare you, Ian? How dare you? One of the biggest prospects on Irish soil at the moment, Irish wrestlers. I think they need to build Lyra a bit more before having the Becky storyline together.
Yeah, this pay-per-view as a whole needs another week or two built. It's too soon after Mania, I think, to throw us back into PLE land. Everything, it's way too quick. I think everything feels a bit too rushed, especially Becky and Lyra. But there's been a lot, and I said this about Mania, and it wasn't the case, unfortunately. But I said there's been a lot of pay-per-views where on the go home, I'm like, man, I'm not looking forward to this, and then it ends up being great. I'm hopeful this will be great, but we'll have to see.
Sean, we're going back to you again here. Women's World Champion Io Sky defeated Roxanne Perez in a non-title match. Seemed all very above board till Julia hit the ring and then Roxanne Perez returned. And I have to say, these two girls' introduction to Raw is going absolutely superb at the moment.
Brilliant. It really is. I think from when Roxanne turned heel in NXT, we knew something was there. And what she was kind of capable of, but I don't think we realized it until recently when she started having matches on Raw, how well she can hang with the superstars on Raw on the main title scene, from her match with Rhea Ripley to now the match with Io Sky. In my opinion, they were both brilliant matches, and I don't know, I think we can definitely see her maybe on a big pay-per-view soon, hopefully maybe SummerSlam or Mania next year, hopefully. And as for Julia, she's great. We know from her history in Japan, she's brilliant. Her run, the still current run in NXT is brilliant. I thought it was a bit odd when I first seen her on Raw. I didn't think it makes sense, but now kind of getting her into a bit of a storyline, it makes a bit more sense, and it's starting to fit in perfectly. It was a good match, and it was good to see how well both women could work with the big stars.
Yeah, absolutely. Bren, Rusev has returned. Talk to me about Rusev. I'm kind of liking this Rusev more than I did all the previous ones.
He's really good. I have to disagree with you though, Niall. For me anyway, I think he just doesn't have the steam that he had, and I think he needs a little bit more time. I love his promos; they're brilliant, but I just felt when he came out, it was kind of nothing. It wasn't until the end. It wasn't until the very end where he went back in and he reapplied the camel clutch. And I was like, yeah, okay, we're getting somewhere. I think I might be jumping the gun a bit, but Rusev and as well as Aleister Black on the other show, they're just, I don't know what it is. They're missing something for me personally. I think I have a lot of faith in Rusev. And to be honest, I'm not too concerned about Rusev. I think he'll get there eventually, but it's kind of like he's just there, isn't he? He beat Otis, and I think Otis deserves more. I think he's the one that deserved the tsunami gimmick. But overall, I wasn't up until the end. I wasn't overly invested in this, to be honest. So
yeah, I don't know. I find there's just a little bit more to him. You know, I don't want to see that guy back strapped to a tank again or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm kind of liking this aggressive look and stuff like that and all where. And, you know, the way he can go in and use poor Elsis out there and just use him as fodder, really, and stuff is pretty cool, you know what I mean? And it's a real heelish move as well. And I think Otis is one of those guys. He's super, really, really good at bringing that, I won't say new talent, but when older talent comes back in as new talent, trying to establish them again, because he sells like crazy for people. For a big guy, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, no, I'm liking this version of Rusev. Of course, with Aleister Black, I'm not too sure. It's been a little bit kind of strange since he came back in. You're kind of feeling probably needs a couple of people around him or something like that, maybe, you know. So I'm not too sure on that one. Sean Mack, Gunther vowed to squash Pat McAfee at WWE Backlash.
He probably will. No, I was actually surprised at how good this promo is. I know Pat McAfee gets a bit of a bad rep on commentary, but I think people forget he can be a very engaging promo. And I think people forget even more is that he can be absolutely brilliant in ring. Like easily, I'd put him top 3 with like celebrities who transitioned into wrestling, whether that be full time or part time. Gunther, I think the fact that he, you know, the way sometimes he antagonizes his opponents. Like with Bret Hart, he was saying, "Oh, you're my favorite, but my real favorite." Like he's trying to like get a laugh. He wasn't like that with Pat McAfee. He was just genuinely dead set on destroying him. And I really like that because I think Gunther, not that he lost a serious edge, but he was yeeting a lot and talking about Goldberg and talking about this and that. You forget that he can be genuinely intimidating. And I think him killing Michael Cole, Bebe, and then Pat McAfee. And as I said last week, he can talk all the shit he wants about Michael Cole. Michael Cole is undefeated at WrestleMania, and Gunther is not. So Michael Cole over Gunther in the GOAT status for me.
Depending on where we go with this and where this match lands on the Backlash card, we could literally end up with half the pay-per-view just finishing with the Spanish announce team.
Yeah, God almighty. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine just the desk there empty and just the headsets on the desk? Or maybe Gunther goes behind the desk and just takes over on his own. The two boys are laid out in the ring, getting stretchered out of the place.
Standing room only.
Yeah.
A bit like when John Cena's wrestling John Laurinaitis and he did the improv on commentary.
I'll
tell you what, I'll be Michael Cole and you can be
Get Imperium back together or something and have the German and Austrian announce team or something like that.
That'd be great, yeah. But no, I think I don't know. I think the best method absolutely is McAfee losing. But I don't know if it should just be like a straight squash.
No.
Maybe finger poke of doom or something like that. Or if they do like maybe not 50-50, maybe like 70-30 match.
They're gonna sell this like Cole's son, aren't they? McAfee's like Cole's son at this stage now.
He comes out wearing the headpiece and the orange singlet. And...
the bubble wrap.
Yeah, no, but I think this will be really good. We've spoke before. McAfee's absolutely incredible in ring.
Yeah,
Gunther's great. I think it's going to establish Gunther furthermore as a bully. And honestly, depending on what happens, he could get suspended again. You know, but I'll just say I think Pat McAfee can be very relaxed and assured that after he gets beaten up and bloodied and almost left for dead, the producers will then get involved after after the attack and not during, because they're not humans. But I think
cut to the backstage and Goldberg's there loafing the walls and the insane.
Yeah,
we told you to cut down on blood. This is TNA.
Yeah. I severely hope that Goldberg's not getting involved in this. But Travis Scott helped John Cena win a match at WrestleMania, so I could see it. Like, I've just given up with life at this point.
Opportunity. Dig in, people, dig in.
Oh my god, yeah, but no, I'm looking forward to this match. Great promo by both. Hopefully it will deliver. I can't wait to see Pat McAfee's chest after. I'll just say that it's probably going to be as red as my hoodie. Red is my face.
Finisher.
Do you know what he should? He should come out wrestling in a shirt, and he should put one of those metal plates across his chest that you can't see under the shirt.
Like Grado.
So when Gunther chops it, he nearly breaks his hand or something like that. Really
that would be quite a twist. Or he puts like loads of coins in his mouth or something.
Yeah.
So he slaps them and then he breaks his hand and he just
spits gorilla glue. So when he chops him the first time, the hand just sticks to him, and then he can drag him around the ring.
Or what if he just brings a gorilla instead? It says, can one Gunther take out 100 gorillas? Probably not.
There we go. And then we round out Seth Rollins defeating World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso by disqualification. CM Punk again. Him and Rollins just ain't going away anytime soon. Bren?
I thought they were going to take the belt off Jey. I really did. And that's why I like this Raw so much. They swerved me. I thought they were just going to strike the iron now. It was very well done. The match itself was class. I loved the match. I thought it was one of Jey Uso's best showings as well. The CM Punk bit at the end, great stuff. I'm excited. I think all in all, it ended what was a really good show.
Yeah, absolutely. Who's this Malachi Black lad? I don't know that guy. Pat McAfee should have slapped Walter in the face last night. Okay, we're sort of tripping here between names. Let's stick to it. If it's Raw, it's WWE. That's clear. Goldberg will interfere in the match. I feel it. Tell you,
no, he won't.
You.
And a Backlash.
Wade Barrett will be on commentary for Backlash. You probably pump him too.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe Barrett gets involved.
Last time I seen Pat in the ring, Vince kicked an NFL pigskin up his hole. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That shadow play, that cunt needs to stay in that retirement home where he belongs. Nobody wants to see old man Goldberg spear that chap. There's a put up over.
But I need the anger meter.
We got the keep meter. We're gonna have to next week. We're gonna have to keep meter. We'll have the keep meter next week. I'm telling you now. Each week we'll change it up and we'll have a keep.
The pot called the Cal Black. I will say about this, just to jump in before you go on. Why didn't they ring the bell? When did the bell keeper have to get the last bus home? I mean, I've been in his shoes, but I don't know. And
someone probably robbed the center of it, and he was probably banging on it like crazy, but there was no noise coming out.
Slapping his knees or something like profusely, just to. Yeah. I don't know, but no, very, very, very good. And I like how people are defying this group already. It's not going to take like 2 or 3 weeks for the whole roster to come out. There's people already against it. Sammy, now CM Punk. Probably more along the way. I don't know. Maybe Roman Reigns. If you show.
Well, who's the other member? Like, I mean, there's rumors going around about another member. Is there another member? Do they need it? And if so, who is it?
I don't think they need it, but they'll probably add someone at some point.
Yeah, it's always handy to have something like that, isn't it?
Yeah. I heard someone suggest Becky. I don't know about that.
I don't think that's going to happen because Becky and Seth don't necessarily like working together. Do you remember they forced it a few years ago?
Jesus.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was arse clenching.
Good.
My God. I couldn't. So I can imagine doing that again wouldn't pay off. Because it's not coincidence. Because they're not doing it by coincidence. Like, it's just, wait, they're together. People, they know. Yeah.
The rumor I heard was Austin Theory.
Jeff Cobb is joining Seth Rollins' group. That's from Acers.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah. Not a terrible idea, but not a great one either.
Bronson Reed.
Jeff
There we go.
Cobb and Braun Breaker as a tag team.
Murder.
I don't think Bronson Reed deserves what he's getting. I think Otis deserves that.
What, being injured?
Yeah.
He definitely
harsh.
didn't deserve. He didn't deserve what he got. That's true.
That's,
yeah.
that's a
That's
disgrace.
true.
That's
Absolutely.
shocking. How dare you?
Do you know what? You're absolutely right. I apologize.
You're just having a bad day, Sean. Jesus.
Yeah. No, man, I'm fucking with you. Yeah, no, I agree. I think he should. But then I think Bronson Reed was great. He was in that feud with Seth.
It's
just
good.
before he got injured. So, does he come back with them, or does he join them and then maybe turn them down the line? Because he remembers, wait a minute, were you that guy that? Oh yeah, it is you. Yeah, turn. And then he joins. I don't know, but I can't envision babyface Bronson Reed. Cool, badass heel, but not. I don't know.
Can we just touch on something else just whilst I think of it? What did you think of the clubhouse when AJ walked in and there was that thing between Hello Prince? What did you think of that?
Very cool.
Could have got a warmer welcome.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I hope that they capitalize on that somehow. I hope they work that in. Because I think Finn is leaving the group, and I think maybe use that as an avenue. But I love that. That was brilliant. The tension was very good.
You know, the way I was talking about JD should get a win every now and then. Poor Finn Balor. Can he not even have like just one? And it's not happening against AJ. I can tell you, it'll be a great match, but Finn Balor will sadly not strike again. Lie down again.
Can
Or
people just
actually-
keep me in the loop? Can people just keep me in the loop?
Yeah.
But does he turn? Does he leave the group out of anger, or do the group turn on him?
I think the group turn on him probably. Yeah, but even when he was but even when he was told to leave the ring, go on, we won't do it again. It was very good. It's the little things like that I love. I hope they do something anyway. I think the Judgment Day for me are gone on a bit long. I think it served its purpose, particularly now with Dom getting.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
With Edge going and everyone joining and never winning and like the music changing, everything. The aura's gone. Everything that is cool about them is
they
is out
peaked
the
with
window.
R-Truth.
Yeah, but then the thing with R-Truth was that was like what, a couple of weeks.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, that was it.
I don't see the Judgment Day anymore. As you said, the aura's gone. Now when I look at this screen, I just see like, I don't know, like the Wiggles or some shit, you know? It's just kind of, yeah, it's just kind of
What a reference. What a reference.
The Wiggles.
Expand on that, the Wiggles now. Do you want to expand
Yeah,
on
I'd like
that
to
now?
hear more about that.
I think the Wiggles, they should have been on the. Do you remember the celebrity era edition of Raw where they had all the? Imagine them 1 week and the Muppets the week after.
I seen the Wiggles live with my son years ago.
My
They
cousin
did a
saw them
show.
in the RDS.
Yeah, no, they did a show. They did a show out in the campus out near Ballymum. What's it called? What's that place called? What's
The
the venue?
Helix.
The Helix.
Helix, yeah.
Yeah, and he was dying. He had to go out and say to me, he loved them and all and stuff like that. Weird show if you're sitting in it as an adult. That's
There's probably
just
adults going to
put
see
it
the
out
Wiggles now. I'd go see the. I'm 21.
But they're
I'd
they're
be-
adults that were probably brought as kids, so they're
Yeah.
conditioned to it. I wasn't conditioned to that.
I'd be in those pits for fruit salad at the age of 21 right now if they came back. OG lineup. You know the way there's like all these the original Misfits, the new Misfits. Imagine the OG Wiggles in the three, and imagine the mosh pits on the floor for fruit salad or Dorothy the dinosaur.
See,
Nose
all
will
that
be
goes
broken.
over my head. I was
Took a sharp left here,
Ah.
didn't
The fact
Yeah,
you
I-
know so much.
Sean's
Sean.
fault. It's your fault.
I was
You were
brought up on Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers.
Me
The
too.
original back
Yeah.
in the early 90s.
Power
Do you
Rangers.
know what I
yeah.
mean?
I had a softer
Yeah.
palate. I had Power Rangers and then the Wiggles.
roll me in. Dom making the moves on Roxanne, the dirty fecker. Yeah, absolutely.
Sound like Father Stack.
And what's he say underneath there? Add Ellsworth to the group.
As Ellsworth
got-
to the group, he's got
Yeah.
a steel chin.
Imagine he gets an uppercut off someone and he just stands there waiting for the.
He gets an uppercut and just starts floating down.
Yeah, but what? Oh, here's the thing. AJ Finn says I need to talk to someone. I've known AJ for a long time, but I haven't beaten him too much. So I got someone who beat him a few times. In walks James Ellsworth, who's beaten him 3 times. Can you imagine
Wow. That's
Yeah.
a deep cut right there.
singing the police for Roxanne? You're gonna make it. Yeah.
Great
I
shit,
grew up
man.
on that bang bus.
Good man, Romy. That's what I like to
What's
say.
that bang bus?
He
Bang
was
bus.
raring on it. You can Google it
All
later
right.
and you'll know what it is.
Yeah,
And if you
Google
grew
it.
up on
Find
it,
out.
if you grew up on it, I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
and I'll look it up on TikTok or whatever it's called after on my iPhone.
TikTok.
Yeah, talk about the wiggles going over your head. That's going over my head.
Tell you. Right, let's talk about this absolute Leon.
Wow.
Talk to me. Gonna be bigger than WWE and UFC.
Yeah, right.
Bischoff
Is
saying,
this?
Shut up.
Is it not? Is it not just wrestling without the personalities? You know, that's my understanding of it. Anyway, it's going to be Greco-Roman wrestling. So nobody's going to be doing any moonsaults anywhere. There's going to be no one getting thrown off a cell.
Yeah.
There's going to be no personality, and it's going to be, say, Tom Jones versus Michael McDonough.
sounds very much like Ring of Honor versus the tail end of NWO, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what? Spot on. Like my thing with this is they built it up. The little promo they built it up as if it's going to be the next big thing. I don't even think I'll tune into the debut. Do you know what I mean? I'll watch the clips on the TikTok machine.
I can tell you now, this is absolute bullshit. Every one of the four of us will watch the debut of this.
Yeah.
There's no doubt
Yeah,
about it.
no,
You will not miss the
you're right.
debut.
Yeah.
You may
Oh,
not
you're right.
watch week 2 or week 3 or week 4, but you'll watch the debut.
I
No
hope
one
we
misses
get
the debut of any promotion.
I hope we get a
No.
crossover with Control Your Narrative or XPW.
Oh God! Imagine if he came out with a list of
Jesus.
rules.
Hulk Hogan, Necro Butcher.
God.
You are in
I
control,
have to
Jack.
say, I watched that. Did you watch that WrestleMania 9 documentary?
Not
Becoming
yet. Is that any
Respectable.
good?
Not yet.
Excellent.
Is
Excellent.
it?
Well worth a watch, lads. Well worth a watch.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
looks. I've seen a few clips. It looks kind of cool, and I was actually surprised. What got me is I was surprised they had so much access and were able to film so much. That's weird for back then.
Yeah.
Strange. I'll watch it. Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, it was interesting. Taker on it, just a little bit of a spoiler. Taker on it says that there would have been no WrestleMania 41 if it wasn't for WrestleMania 9. There you go.
That probably would have been fine then.
I'm thinking Sean might go back in time and kill WrestleMania 9 so we
Yeah.
don't get WrestleMania 41. Yes.
Back to the Future.
I get the impression you're not happy with John Cena, Sean.
No. Just imagine Doc Brown. It's about the 17, Marty.
Yeah, you know,
Great
sent
reference.
that on to
Yeah.
sent something on to me earlier, all right, about a former star of wrestling, but I didn't.
Oh my
Duke the Dumpster
God.
Drowsy.
Duke. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that.
I hadn't had the chance
Oh,
to
dear.
delve into it.
We won't
Hulk
go
Hogan
too much
reminds
into
me
it.
of Grandpa from The Simpsons. He's being allowed out too many times from that retirement home.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Am I right in thinking that the last company, the Triple H, the Hulk Hogan, sorry, really had a finger in the creative of was the XWF?
I have that DVD.
Yeah, it
The
did not.
last episodes. I bought it.
Yeah.
I bought it in your shop. Actually, I think I bought it in the shop.
Remember?
And I still have that DVD.
Yeah, the
And it's,
XWF, no prima donnas. And I had Hogan and like the roster. I think was actually really good. at
Mr.
the time.
Perfect.
Mr. Perfect, AJ. They had
Yeah.
Low Key, I think, and I think was it Francine or someone was the special commissioner.
I haven't watched it since then.
Oh,
I bought it in 2005.
No,
I don't think
haven't.
I've watched it since then, 2006.
But that went incredibly well, and I'm sure if this actually does come to fruition, it's going to be tremendous. I'll probably watch one episode of it, and that'll be too much. But
Yeah,
I have
I
morbid
think I might like it.
curiosity, and that is the worst thing as a wrestling fan when you say, you know, I might watch it just to be sure, and it ends up being the worst thing ever. But it's like you have to accept that it's not going to be very good at all compared to, you know, wrestling shows now and also wrestling shows full stop. So we'll have to see. But yeah.
Who's he gonna hire?
I don't know if it's this one, but I've heard there's some. I think actually it might have been Vince was trying to start a new company and he's going to hire like loads of problematic people. Bubba loves Sponge's camera. Yeah. Oh God, I could see it. Like if Hogan and Bischoff can start a wrestling, if anyone can see Hogan and Bischoff say we're going to start a company and they either A, agree to wrestle for, or B, agree to show on telly. I mean, yeah, anything.
Well, hang on. We know Hogan is the king of forgiveness. We know he's the king of forgiveness.
King of forgiveness.
Never say never.
Oh Jesus! Come on.
He forgives everyone. He forgives everyone. He makes amends with everyone, of course.
Does he?
Yeah.
Do you
Well,
remember,
Makes it worse.
in his mind, and that's
Do you
all
ever-
that counts.
remember I thought
Great
this
memory
was
as well.
Yeah. Do you remember the WrestleMania, the first one after COVID, where they were in, I think Raymond James is the year they had the main event of Roman Edge and Daniel Bryan.
Did he
I
come
think
out as a pirate?
on night 2, him and Titus O'Neil came out as pirates, and they did a
Yeah.
gag of him saying something he shouldn't say, like, "Hey, you're not supposed to say that." They said that to Hogan, like standing next to Titus O'Neil, who is probably one of his friends.
That's Vince written all over it, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, his fingerprints and everything.
He keeps on dropping these names every time he does an interview, and then the name comes out and goes, "Don't ever mention my name again." And really, what he's actually moonlighting these guys. You come work for me, we'll call you Benjamin Shelton. It's all good.
But didn't he say a couple of weeks ago that he discovered Lesnar? In a way, he was one of Lesnar's first guys.
Did he?
He's the one that said, "I think Lesnar's going to be the next big thing," or something like that. You should look that up.
Yeah, I know.
Look up Hogan's lies.
I remember he said apparently he was the first one to notice Kevin Owens' potential.
Wow.
While you watch that documentary on WrestleMania 9 and you hear the spiel being spun on the black eye. Oh, I tell you.
How did you get that black eye again? I can't remember. I know it's ridiculous, but how did
apparently he took a jet ski to the mush. I think you'd have a lot more than a black eye. I think you might be scalped.
Wasn't the rumor though that Randy Savage gave him a dig?
Yeah,
I kind of believe that more, to be honest. Here we go. Brian Knobbs will make an appearance. He's crying out for a bit of Bob.
Brian Knobbs of the XWF. I mean, surely it's got to happen.
Brian Knobbs, he's not too well at the moment, sure, he's not.
Foot amputation, I think, or something. Hogan still wheel him out, though.
Hogan was the first person to discover Bohemian Grove. Wow.
He was also, I remember, he said that he was offered the lead role of, the wrestler, the Darren Aronofsky movie, Mickey Rourke.
That's right.
Yeah, offered the role of that 3 times and turned it down because he didn't deserve it. And then Darren Aronofsky categorically denied ever offering him the role. Yeah. And
I'm still waiting for the new ad for the Hogan grill. The Foreman grill is gone.
The reason he didn't get that was because he was getting the kids from school. Imagine what's
I told people that story. I believed it for years. Like I was a sucker. I was a mark for Hogan. So I was like, yeah, no, he turned it down. I don't believe a word he says these days.
No, I had an annual, a WB annual, and those like kids annuals that they used to make. They still make them, but I had the one I think from 2015, and there's like a true or false section. So I had the wrestlers and characters saying, "Hey, I used to da." And Hogan's one was, "I used to play bass for the Rolling Stones," or "I auditioned for it."
Yeah,
and I went my whole life until I watched that video of Jim Cornette and Brian Last believing that he was.
There you go.
He's talking
that was in between eating your vitamins and leaning on your bed and saying your prayers and all the rest of it. No, was it?
Not the prayers part, but certainly the eating part. Yeah. My God. Nice. I can't wait. It's going to be such a train wreck. I can't wait till we can actually, it comes out and we can all come together and laugh about it. It's going to be amazing.
You never know. I mean, they might pull a rabbit out of a hat. I'm being very optimistic here.
I do know.
They might actually pull a rabbit out of a hat. That's the problem. That's the problem. Talk to me. TNA officials have informed talent today that going forward, excessive blood and or blading will not be permissible by the promotion. The decision was made in order to protect the health of the talent as well as keeping current potential advertisers and partners in mind, which is the most important because that's who pays your bills. Via PW Insider. Sean Mack, you give me your thoughts first. I know you're one of these bloodthirsty ECW heads. So.
Yeah, to quote the great Sean Dyche, utter woke nonsense. I know. No, I like blood. Love a bit of stuff. But I don't like it when it's used just for the sake of it. Now, in fairness to TNA, they did say that accidental blood, whether that be from like getting hit too hard or getting the wrong end of an elbow or a chair, that's unavoidable. That's going to happen. That's fine. They're not going to, flip their shit over that. But then the TNA I love, they had the Monsters Ball matches and they had all the barbed wire massacre match, and blood was aplenty there. So the fact that it's being outlawed entirely, kind of, I don't know. Just how can you have a roster with like Steve Macklin when he gets extreme, when he wants to, Eric Young, Sammy Callahan, Mance Warner, PCO at the time and say, actually, lads, could you just not do blood? Like, I know it might be hard, but could you? That's like, it's like going to Disneyland on holidays and only going to the gift shop. You know, it would be like going to a Michelin star restaurant and asking for an egg, a fried egg or something. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, but I understand.
The barbed wire massacre and non-blood match.
Yeah, the massacre match. The wire match. It's cable time.
It doesn't rule it out completely, though, doesn't it? It just says excessive, which would indicate to me that they're going to use it sparingly. Or am I reading it wrong?
So basically, I think if it's on the Muda scale, someone's getting fined. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, I look at all the things at TNA, and I don't say to myself, you know, the one thing that stops me watching, it's the blood. I hate blood. It's too much blood. You know, it's fine. Wrestling is what they say. Well, they say it's sport. It's a sport, a contact sport, and in contact sports, someone's going to bleed. It's inevitable, whether that be, and especially in wrestling when it's a fight. Two lads covered in baby oil, battering the piss out of each other. Occasionally, there's going to be, as I said, the wrong end of a hand or an elbow or a chair or the wrong end of a piece of barbed wire that will cut someone open. It's unavoidable.
The side of a chair instead of the flat of it, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that happens. I learned recently that to not bleed from a steel chair, you stand on the lip. So if you hit someone in the head with the lip of the chair, it cuts them open. So sometimes someone gets a chair and they have it on the ground. They're like, yeah, come on. But as they're doing that, they're flattening out the lip. So instead of getting hit with a sharp piece of steel, you're just getting hit with a flat piece. It still hurts horrendously, but it's still, you know. But I think excessive. Olive oil, surely. He'd tell you to make food. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about. I don't know. I understand it from a health and safety point of view, and especially when you have people like Sammy Callahan, Mance Warner, they love a bit of stuff just as much as I do. But then again, blood's dangerous. Blood requires stitches and all this, and you know, it's something that I think the wrestlers could do without having every night. But if they use it to heighten the feud or heighten a match, let's say it's two guys having a really good match and someone gets busted open, like, oh my god, someone's bleeding, this is gonna be great. The same way you do it in like UFC when someone's bleeding. Not like with AEW, when you see Moxley bleeding, you're not like, oh shit, you're just like, oh god, of course he's bleeding again.
Classic Mox.
So yeah, Sabu at GCW was leaking like a council water tap.
My god, there was at least 2 times that match I thought he was dead. Like it made Born to Be Wired look like a pillow fight. My Jesus, what a way!
I think Keith Siri, I think, says it best though. I think blood is needed for the right storyline if it adds to the rivalry, but not on a weekly basis. That's where I stand on the whole blood thing.
Yeah.
You kind of don't want the fan base getting used to it. You want it to have that shock factor.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's inevitable.
Exactly.
It's inevitable. So we'll still see our fair share, you know?
Great stories have been told without blood, and great stories have been told with blood, and it's just a matter of when it's right. That's it.
And
that's my opinion.
Yeah, and great stories have been derailed by blood when it's not needed.
There you go.
Yeah,
and also
great
way around probably, but you know.
Right, give me your predictions for Backlash. Start with you, Bren.
Predictions for Backlash. I think McAfee's going to get a hiding. I think this is just Walter. Sorry, just got the promo. Yes, Walter in my head. I think Gunter's just going to give him a right hiding. I think Fatu retains. It doesn't make sense to take him off him now. He's on a steam train. Let him continue. Dom definitely retains, but I'm hoping it develops stories with the Judgment Day. I hope they don't give it to Penta because I don't think they can actually pin Penta in a singles match either. So that's shenanigans. That's shenanigans written all over it. I think Becky wins. Becky beats Lyra. I think this basically gives Lyra a chance to go back, build on herself. And I agree with Sean as well. I think we need to see a change in the Becky character. And look, John Cena beats Orton. And I'm going to throw something out there. R-Truth to interfere and have John Cena.
God.
Yes.
Randy Orton. So that's what I'd love to see.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen, but that's what I'd like to see. R-Truth come in and Cena for the win. And I don't necessarily think this is the end of Orton Cena. We'll see. But I think Cena to win. That's my predictions in a nutshell.
I mean, I take R-Truth over Travis Scott any day, to be honest. So
Travis Scott has absolutely no right to be on any wrestling card.
Finally,
Yeah.
someone on my
Yes.
No,
wavelength.
listen. See that Fiend song.
Fiend?
I hate it. I hate it. It's no. It's just it's
Best
not good.
mania ever. Best mania ever.
Travis Scott has no right on a wrestling poster. He has not,
Yeah.
let alone the soundtrack. So
Now,
he can piss off.
unless he trained like Bad Bunny or someone, and maybe if he showed up to promote a song or to do a cool entrance with Jey Uso, so WB showed that they're up there, hip and tight with the kids, maybe. But to literally be a deciding factor to the main event of the biggest not the WB show, the biggest wrestling show of the year, the biggest match of the year, the final match of John Cena's career. Can you imagine Hogan and Austin ended with Fred Durst interfering and costing?
Great comparison.
Look at the yellow in his eyeballs.
Very good.
Look at the yellow in his eyeballs.
You ever see that cartoon Stressed Eric? The veins about to come around his neck.
We were saying the wide of the eyeballs and all. Look, he was actually starting to look like this.
What color am I at now, do you think? Yeah. It's not the Sean everyone raged at Jesus because he told the truth. And I'm not comparing myself to Jesus, but I'm just saying
didn't end well for him.
Yeah, Jesus did well for himself.
So come here, just on that as well. I said it to Niall the other day. The T-shirts that were printed, finally the Rock has come back to Las Vegas. Niall, you had something interesting to say about that. That pissed me right off.
They were everywhere.
They were everywhere, and the fact that they've highlighted them, and I think it's a good point that you made.
I was this close to buying one.
Oh, you would have been fuming. What if it said the Rock?
You know what? I nearly wear one now just to piss people off.
Imagine it said the Rock is coming back to Las Vegas, and then in the tiniest print at the bottom, like if you wore reading glasses, you wouldn't be able to see it next year.
I should have turned around and said, I don't know what Vegas you guys were in, but I was partying with Rocky Maivia all week in Vegas. Not the Rocky Maivia, though.
He's going to America, and then it says on the back Barack Obama Plaza. I don't know.
There we go. There. What are they going to break up this Judgment Day? I think it's ran its course.
Yeah.
I'd say my fear is if they break it up, then Carlito gets released. I don't want that.
No.
I'm sure there's a fruit bowl to be at somewhere,
A fruit bowl?
Not based on what we're going to be talking about shortly, that's for sure. That Travis Scott faint song makes my head stiff like Big E's neck.
Ah, you bastard.
Oh, now I feel like
you have
no one
have
my number
enough cheek for another arse, you do. I hate Travis Scott. That's disgusting. That's filth.
Yeah, we'll have to have the shadow play anger meter next week. I'm going to put a few of you on it for next week, actually. I'm going to hit you all with it.
What do you think is ourselves predictions for Backlash?
Yeah, sorry, Backlash. Yeah, continue, lads. Give us your predictions in the chat as well, folks, for Backlash. Come on.
I'll let Sean O handle this first. I have a few interesting ideas.
Thank you very much, Your Highness.
Yeah, my viewer.
Thank you. So obviously, Cena. I don't see him losing the title just yet.
You don't see Orton winning by DQ. It's in St. Louis.
I know, but I feel like it'd be the St. Louis screw job, Like,
yeah, but you don't feel then they could carry it on a bit, so it's not box ticking. We could get Orton next one, maybe, or something. No? I know he said it's the last one, but
yeah, I feel like it'd be the ultimate gut punch if The Rock actually shows up here. They'd be like, fuck you, we didn't get him at Mania, but sure, we'll take him now. Why not?
He's showing up at St. Louis.
My bus is late.
I got the local link.
Missed taxi. Well, that's the sentence.
Doesn't have the ring to it, sure doesn't.
Yeah.
Finally, the Rock's come back to St. Louis.
Sounds familiar. I missed my bus is late. Local link.
What else do we got? I feel I don't know. I'd like Liar to retain, but I wouldn't mind if Becky left.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Awful.
Lily and Bonnie Blue in the main event. I'd watch it.
I feel like
again, I would take that over Travis Scott.
Yeah. Fair.
I have no idea who they are, but it sounds like it could be good.
I know Bonnie Blue. I don't know about the other one. I'm sure they're fairly similar
in their technique. Yeah, they're pretty similar in their technique.
Hit walls of Jericho or something.
Who we got to go with?
And
For
a
the
lot
US
of men.
For the
Royal
US
Rumble.
title, I don't see not Jeff Cobb, Jesus Christ, Jacob Fatu losing. If he was, I wouldn't mind seeing Drew McIntyre with the US title, to be honest with you. For Pat McAfee and Gunther, I feel like Gunther will leave Pat with a face like a Spanish omelette, flattened.
What?
Um,
Buff Egan.
Buff Egan, we're going with a bit of Buff Egan.
In a head in them, like a
Like
Spanish
a
omelet.
Spanish omelette.
Yeah.
Uh,
Love Buff Egan.
And then Dominic Mysterio. But as you said, I would like to see R-Truth get involved in the undisputed title match. Maybe he thinks it's a rumble or something. He's just a while late to the party, but sure. Yeah.
Cool.
So
So
what about
the only title change we're talking about here is Lyra. Yeah, this is what
Yeah.
you think.
Yeah. That's
And
what I think.
everyone's in the Gunther camp that Pat McAfee's in for a hiding.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't put Gunther and Camp in the same sentence, but yeah.
Sean Mack, any
Gunther's
difference? Any different thoughts on it?
Not too much difference. I think Gunther and Pat will be 70-30. Pat will die like a hero, I think. Again, with the four-way, I don't see him taking off Jacob. It'd be a bit wasteful to have him as over as he is. Beat LA Knight, have that really nice moment at Mania, and then gone. But again, strange things have happened. Penta and Dominic. Penta will definitely win the title at some point. Yeah, I almost had you there. Just not tonight, I don't think. I think they'll need to build. What I think they could do actually is if there's more shithousery involving Finn, like him getting left out and excluding stuff, like at SummerSlam when he turned on Damian Priest, he'll turn on Dominic. But the issue is we like Dominic now, kind of, not really. So I don't know if that would be a face turn for Finn necessarily more than it would be like an ultra heel turn. A heel turn from a heel. It cancels itself out, so I guess it could be a face turn. Becky and Lyra, like you boys are saying, is probably the only one with the belt on the line that I could possibly foresee changing. But I don't know about Becky winning the title. And with John Cena and Randy Orton, I've seen a couple of awful ideas for this. One said, I saw a guy put up the match graphic and say, how do you ruin this match? And then someone commented, fiend. So that's one. The other one is, I can't remember what year it was. It might have been 2008, 2009. It was Cena and Orton, chapter 7,226. And Randy Orton slapped the referee, got himself disqualified. And Cena and Randy Orton were trying so hard not to break character, but like they were close to piss themselves laughing. I have seen someone suggest that John Cena is going to get himself disqualified by slapping the referee, just like Randy Orton did all that time ago. But I will say, whatever happens, the performance that Cena turned in against Cody is not going to cut it for me. We need serious. Cena's matches need a serious overhaul. He can still be a dick.
Those St. Louis wrestling fans, they're not that forgiving.
No.
They're not that forgiving.
He can still be a dick.
City.
He can still ruin wrestling. And people say, everyone's like, oh, but you're like getting upset, but he's meant to be ruining wrestling. And I'm like, yeah, but not like that. He's going to ruin wrestling by winning the belt and going away, not by having consistently shite matches with SoundCloud rappers showing up. And not only, being there, interfering to don't put up that rage meter again. I'll upend you.
Jesus.
Sorry, I'm just letting stuff off. No, I think Cena wins. People are saying it's not going to be the last, or it is. The last. I love John Cena. I love Randy Orton. I'm very nostalgic for those matches because that was the period when I was a fan and as a child. But now as an adult, there were a lot of them, but they weren't as good. It was quantity over quality with this. They had a couple of good matches. I think Breaking Point 2009, the I Quit match was really, really good. Oh, we don't agree.
There's a name from the past. Breaking Point.
That's the name I haven't heard in a long time. Yeah. The first, what a great concept that was. All the matches end in submission or giving up. Why would they not do that again? But no, well, I don't know if the match was good. It was basically 25 minutes of Cena getting beaten up, and then, out comes the shovel, and
you'd be happy with that now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, now it would be off the wall. But back then, but no, they've had a few good matches, but they've also had matches that go from pretty good, okay, totally forgettable, and actively shite. So I think they need to cap it off with a good match. As I said, I need the John Cena of old. I'm not talking about John Cena like 2007, even 2015. The US Open Challenge John Cena, hungry, passionate, doing moves, antagonizing the crowd, beating up Randy Orton. I need that. And if we don't get it here, I don't really have much hope for the match portion of the rest of this tour, which is a shame because I really want this tour and I want this match and all of John Cena's remaining time. I want it to be productive. I want it to be exciting and entertaining. And so far, the fun with this tour stops when the bell rings and he has to wrestle. It's not necessarily because of ability, because the quality of the match, and also because someone whose name I won't say his name again, but his name sounds like Schmabish Schmott. And the guy we actually do want to show up, Gobshite from Scorpion King, is cutting his grass in the toilet, washing his jocks. I don't know where he is, but he's not here.
He's at the top of that tidal wave in San Andreas at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah.
He only arrived in Vegas. He's only just landed.
Yeah. I saw someone, this whole stupid debate about 100 men, one gorilla. Some said, what if it was like 100 members of the bloodline and one gorilla? And some said, Brock's not showing up. And it's not even funny because it's true. Like, he wouldn't show up. He'd definitely have other things. I would say The Rock can't get annual leave to save his life.
That's so way to put it.
Yeah. The Rock wants time off so I can go to WrestleMania. No. But no, so I'm going crazy. John Cena will win. Oh, great. This can't upset anyone. 40K. Yeah, you're going to want to get that rage meter back up, pal.
That rage meter for everyone. Oh. Well, now that we're making so much money off YouTube, I booked us all a ticket each front row, 40K. So that's only 160K. It's no problem.
Do you still have a kidney?
I just have one, yeah. So I went with a lung this time.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah. Well, that works. Just so you can. Yeah, 40K would be back in the day. Your travel, your seat, your diesel, your hotel, any other extracurricular activities, whether that be eating breakfast with Joey Styles or whatever you got to do in those weekends. We've never gone to Mania.
Well, the fact that I was looking at the documentary about WrestleMania 9, ringside ticket section for WrestleMania 9. $250.
Oh my god! Yeah,
the cheapest ticket $25, and your man who was sketching out the layout and the ticket price and all said the most important thing was to make sure you had the $25 tickets. They're the most important tickets.
And the thing is, if technology was as prominent and advanced as it is today than it was back then, there are people on a podcast going, 250 quid for a ticket is an absolute disgrace. I can't get over it. But like now it's pennies compared to 40K.
Do you know what the gate was?
Is a yearly salary.
Do you know what the gate was for WrestleMania 9?
20 grand?
No, the total gate.
Oh, the total.
I'm gonna say 5 million.
It was 1 million apparently.
Oh my god.
And they rolled out Caesar's Palace. You got elephants, you got camels, you got ostriches and emus, everything you can think of. It was insane. Then he probably threw the bag of Hogan as well, the double job, if you'd call it double job. There you go. Get Alberto to interfere in the Cena match with a steel chair. I think that would absolutely push Sean over the limit. We'd have to get something bigger than the rage meter.
Yeah. I think that actually got debunked, the fact that he had signed. It was like someone else. And I know he's problematic, but imagine seeing that car come out again, Ricardo Rodriguez. Actually, no. We live in a society. He would come back with a new awful Def Rebel team and no car. So yeah.
How is there talk of Page coming back and Alberto Del Rio is back on the roster page?
I don't know. They'll do a collision. They'll make 2 separate shows for them to stay apart from each other.
There we go. We were talking about it. Breaking point.
Yeah.
Is Page that exciting? No. In fact, is Del Rio that exciting? None of these people excite me at all.
No. I mean,
Page was great back in the day, but she just comes out, she does the whole "I'm back," and then that's it.
History would suggest it got pretty exciting. Just saying.
Yeah. I don't know.
Google her.
Then even Del Rio's ring work in AAA, and I don't watch AAA, just see clips on my extremely busy schedule. Chelsea. God, no, someone else. Almost, Chase. Almost. Someone called Chelsea, but not quite.
I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of a guy who logs on to WWE on location and absolutely slams the credit card in there and drops 40 grand.
Yeah, and then goes 40 grand. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Sounds fair.
Mad.
But there's people doing that where when you were over in Las Vegas, I'm sure you've seen people spend buckets of money in different areas. Like, I don't know where they're getting it from.
Yeah,
It's
well, listen, you know
ridiculous.
my background. I'm okay if people want to spend 40 grand on merchandise. That's different if you're spending 40 grand on the ticket to sit in the chair. That's different. And have to go through the torture of sitting through 2 nights, 3 to 4 hours a night of sharing the experience with one Kevin Nash. So just that's part of it. So there you go. There you go.
It's
Or
outrageous.
Truth, Otis, any of these guys, anyone. There you go. So there you go. So look, we'll keep reporting on the gouging as we always do. 40k for a ticket, absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And they say it and they grin like it's nothing. You know what I mean?
And
It's
speaking of gouging, I am shitting it to see what the prices for Dublin are going to be on Friday.
I'm not.
That's right.
It's Friday week, isn't it? It's Friday week 16th.
Yeah, and tickets are on sale this Friday at 10 o'clock.
I
And
thought it
someone
was next
said,
Friday.
is
Yeah,
it?
it's next Friday.
Oh,
but
next-
Next Friday
it's
16th.
next
So the
Wednesday.
pre-sale will be on Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Well, I
I got the
heard.
pre-sale.
I didn't see any sources, but I'm in a group chat. Someone said that there's a deposit that you can pay for ringside. It's 220.
Seeing that, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so that is alarming slightly.
And now they've announced big match John is there.
Mm.
Big match John.
You know,
So
I
that's going to throw an
yeah.
hour or two on.
I
the
have
ticket.
tickets
Yeah.
to a gig on that night because I don't want to be disappointed. I want to go out and do something. I might have to see about selling that ticket if Cena's there. But what's Cena going to do? Be like, oh, this place is horrible. The worst thing ever.
You should,
I mean,
you should
it's-
arrive in all the gear and he'll point you out. You
I-
want to be that targeted kid.
I presume there's going to be a Dublin collection of the farewell merch. I just imagine him saying, I met these 2 horrible people in Supermax on O'Connell Street. Sean O.
I'll
and
be one of
Sean
them.
Mac. Yeah. Do you want to just
Do you
make
get
one-
punched out? I don't know.
I'll be-
with
I'm
that
just
with
being
that
honest.
Travis Scott playlist.
Do you reckon
coming
he's
out
gonna-
of the ghetto blaster?
Do you reckon we get a petition to get him to see Stephen's Green Shopping Centre? Lead him upstairs?
If he shows up, it'd be great.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah.
Save me
Imagine.
25 grand. I can bring him into Chang's and get him a Chinese.
Yeah.
WWE would have more chance milking my nips than get 100.
that was
Listen,
outstanding
100
shadow play.
I can tell you now, 100 plus isn't going to be even close to the
No.
ticket.
No.
Not
100
even close.
100 plus would be pennies. That'd be like a bargain.
500-600 a ticket easily more probably.
I'd
This
say,
is gonna go back. Remember when Ticketmaster they used to have the offices and people would camp outside to buy WWE tickets.
yeah.
Insane.
I'd say if we're going plus 100, your cheapest ticket would probably be like 130, 140, something like
When
that.
you're sitting in the car.
and there'll be about 5
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Just to say that they did it.
I would just say I would not have to like staying in accommodation and paying for a parking ticket and all that because oh great, more positivity to look forward to.
Yeah, we got to talk about it. We got to talk. We got to talk about it. Give your thoughts.
We're on a roll.
The guy on top there doesn't seem too phased by the fact that it's 40 grand for a SummerSlam ticket. He's not too bothered. So there you go. I don't know. What do we all zone in on this? I mean, are we really bringing it down to Strowman, Baszler, Dakota Kai, and Cora Jade? Or do you go deeper? And Shotzi obviously running down her contract by the sounds of things as well. That's a story that's come out there as well, which is a shame. She was pretty cool. Bren, give me your thoughts first. Looking at the list and thinking, I know, listen, we go out to these people as well. They've lost their jobs, so we think about that as well. And we're sensitive to that as well. Plus, a bunch of office staff that also lost their jobs as well, and we're sensitive to that as well. Because obviously, when you arrive at WWE, that's the promised land, that's the Disneyland. You think you've arrived, that's it. All that hard work to get there, and all of a sudden it's no, go back out there and test yourself. We'll see in a year or two. So yeah, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, no, look, it's very important. A lot of good people lost their jobs. I think the only good thing is that there is places for them to go. There is opportunities for them out there to go shine. There's other revenue streams as shown. Matt Cardona put out a tweet and he's spot on. You can either disappear or you can capitalize on this. I'm not Matt Cardona's biggest fan, to be honest with you, but look what he's after doing. Nothing short of brilliant. I was a bit surprised to see Strowman go, but then I can't really. Is there any room for him or anything like that? But all in all, it's a packed roster. They seem to need to make changes. So for me, it's sad that people lost their job. I'm just glad that there's other places out there for them to go to prove themselves and cut their teeth. And I wish all of them the best because as it stands now, I watched Raw last night. I absolutely I loved Raw last night. Where do you put all these people? Where do you put everybody? Is there a place for absolutely everybody all the time? No. So some of them are going to have to go, cut their teeth. I think I heard one of them's quitting wrestling altogether. I don't know which one. One of them's opening an OnlyFans. I know that. But again, I don't know which one. I think it's I hope it's Strowman. I don't think it's Strowman. Yes. Well, look, other places to go. I wish them all the best. And as we know, there's always room to come back.
So just so I get that right again, Braun Strowman on OnlyFans, yeah.
The dream.
That was
imagine him cutting wood and cooking steak in a frying pan for $5.99 a month. I mean, all my fantasies in one.
That's TikTok comp.
What
right
the?
there.
Oh my Christ. Well, I know where your $5.99 is going every month now.
Yeah,
it's not going towards shopping.
How do you know the prices, Sean? How? How do you know the prices?
Oh, just
well, that's the entry level price.
Desk research.
Yeah, desk research. Yeah,
locked away in the desk research.
Mandy Sacks. Just
who's that again?
Kiss from a rose, yeah. Kiss from a rose. There we go. Will AEW pick up Braun Strowman or Dakota Kai? I think Dakota Kai. Look, Dakota Kai was one that kind of got to me a little bit because she'd been there. She's really, really good. She's after getting injured a couple of times. Then she got the concussion as well. And I think she was working through a lot of stuff and stuff like that. And I think the company maybe could have stuck with her and done it in a better kind of way. But obviously someone has to. They have to draw a line on something, and that's just the way it is. But Dakota was the one that kind of shocked me the most. Baszler has kind of been a little bit lost since Rousey left the company, kind of, to be honest. I didn't see a whole lot of that. Strowman was kind of a weird one because some people would argue in the last couple of months he's been doing most of his better work. So that's kind of a weird one as well. I don't know. It's just, I think that's what I was homing in on. I think the fact that Shotzi's running down her contract as well, I think is a little bit disappointing. She's quite the character in there as well. Gigi will do tampon commercials. Well, fair enough.
I remember.
Sean has more subscriptions on a PlayStation account on OF.
Me. Yeah, for $5.99 you can see me get very, very, very upset at a fake sport with a celebrity who does good business.
We don't use the F word, Sean. We don't use the F word.
Oh, sorry. It's
still real to me, damn it.
Well, do you remember what was that girl's name? You know the movie they made on, was it Wendy Richter? The AW thing that Tony Storm was in. I can't remember. But at Revolution, I think, the pay-per-view for the last one, they had one of the actresses there. I was like, what if you learned
Queen the Ring?
Yeah, Queen the Ring. And she's like, so what if you learn most about going in this world? Yes. Well, the thing I learned is that professional wrestlers actually know who's going to win before the match. And then the mic gets muted and like, oh, sorry, technical issues. Anyway, thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of the show. Look, I understand that WWE only has a finite amount of time.
Yeah.
and it's a business. Unfortunately, people get let go, some for good, some for bad. I think all these are for bad. And look, it sucks because everyone here is really, really good. But as Brent said, that Matt Cardona tweet, he said you can A, cry, B, coast off your WB name, or C, reinvent yourself and become a fucking star. We talked about Matt Cardona. We saw him at OTT, shook his hand. If it was Zack Ryder, probably wouldn't be arsed. Same thing happened. He's not wrestling now, but Maven Huffman, the most mid-card guy you could ever imagine now, has tons of subscribers on YouTube. You know, hey Maven, guys here, all this. You know, and there is options. And I can only hope that they all prosper well. And who knows, maybe we could get a couple of these closer to our shores in OTT or in Fight Factory or somewhere. But I wish them all nothing but the best, you know. Winston Churchill, and I hate to quote him, I promise it makes sense. He once said, "This is not the beginning of the end, but the end of the beginning." This shouldn't be a nail in the coffin for anyone here. It should be turning over a new leaf and going on to a new chapter. And it doesn't even have to be wrestling. Like Baron Corbin wrestles, but he also makes steak. For all we know, Braun Strowman could do Control Your Narrative again, and I'd watch it. I mean, he had two people from OTT, current world champion, Big Damo. He had Sky Duhati and all these people. So maybe it's just, Katana Chance, Caden Carter were good, but they weren't doing too much. Dakota Kai, I really feel for her. Like very injury prone. Like that's not her fault. Braun Strowman, I don't know. Braun Strowman kind of shocked me because he got fired before, and it's not that he wasn't doing anything, but he was in a position where like he wasn't doing anything currently, but there was no reason for him to be in a program pretty soon. Shayna, I kind of agree what he said about Rousey, but I think as soon as she hit the main roster, there wasn't a hope for her. Gigi Dolan, I'm surprised about. Like her and Tatum Paxley were meant to be facing the winners of that women's tag team thing. They were literally the two of them in the front row of Raw that week. And then 5 days later, Gigi Dolan's gone. And I had a feeling Tatum possibly could have gone. I hope not. Cora Jade is a shock as well. Gallus, all three of them. You know, we were talking about Rock to Dwayne Johnson earlier. They trained him, all three arms of Gallus, to get back in the ring for Mania. And that's the thanks they get. And they were on Evolve, and no one watches Evolve, I don't think. I certainly don't. It's not even a blip on my radar. But like they were on there. They were being used. It's not like all these people were doing nothing, sitting and catering, collecting their paychecks at home. Like they were all doing something. So to just have the rug pulled out from under them is really sad. But as I said, you know, this can be the beginning of the end or the end of the beginning. And I hope for all these people, it's the end of the beginning. And as I said, hopefully we get a few on our shores. And one thing I didn't even mention, with this NXT TNA crossover, there's every chance that someone here could go to TNA and pop back up in WWE at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's never nice to see. But it's particularly insulting when they say it's budget cuts. You know, they feel like we're meant to think they're Cavan men with short arms, long pockets, and then they go, anyway, yeah, it's 40 quid for a ticket for SummerSlam, please. 40 grand for a ticket for SummerSlam. Yeah.
Keith, it's amazing to me that Snuka survived that list. No, it's not. Why would it be amazing? She's not on the list. She's not on the list. She ain't going to be on any list. Let's get real here. Come on. Blood's thicker than wood. Apollo Crews is playing I Will Survive. He avoided the cut again.
Yeah. Is he not doing stuff in NXT, or was he at some point?
He was, and then he was back on SmackDown. He injured his shoulder.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, that hasn't stopped WWE before getting rid of people when they're injured. So I don't know.
Good old Winston, the man who smoked a cigar better than Jimmy Savile.
Who used to be a wrestler, actually. And he got beat up by Adrian Street.
I keep out before she's as plain as a plate of haggis with no spuds.
Well, she's doing stuff with Chelsea Green now, which is kind of fun, I suppose.
Who just signed a new contract, 5-year contract, apparently. There you go. Yeah. More budget cuts than a Mackie D's Saver menu. There you go. Budget cuts. Yeah, I don't know. We'll park it there. So listen, I'll give you a quick rundown through. We have a bit of history here for this week, and we have a different mix of notable birthdays there, I say. But we start off 2001. WWE presented UK only pay-per-view Insurrection from Earl's Court in London, England. The main event saw The Undertaker defeat Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H in a triple threat match. 2002.
You were there?
You were there, were you?
I was there, yeah.
I have to think on They used to do like exclusive UK pay-per-views, didn't they?
They
should
did
have,
Insurrection and Rebellion.
Yeah, Rebellion.
They
That's the
went-
other one. Yeah,
That's right.
I have Rebellion, and second match on that card was Dawn Marie and Trunks John Cena against Billy Kidman and someone else. It's amazing to see, like, yeah,
Trunks John Cena.
Prototype John Cena looking, but Billy Kidman, that moonsault was unbelievable.
Great team
when
music.
it didn't catch the bridge of your nose, but apart from
Yeah.
that, 2002, World Wrestling Federation Entertainment Inc. officially becomes World Wrestling Entertainment Inc. The new WWE branding would be officially unveiled a day later. The change came about, of course, with the World Wildlife Fund. Everyone knows what that was, so we don't need to get into it.
They lost to the
money. You know what I heard today? That as of today, the WWE, it's been called the WWE longer than it was ever called the WWF. So World Wrestling Federation was from 1980, I think, up until the name change. So now it's the WWE longest.
When some people talk to me about wrestling, they still call it the WWF though, but that just shows their age.
I remember they haven't been around it in a long time.
I remember Ali G was doing a debate. You know, Ali G did those debates with people. He was doing animal rights, and then someone said, "I think we need a much larger contribution from the WWF." And he's like, "Oh, it's like Hulk Hogan and that." So I always think, I was like, "What are the wrestlers going to do?" He's like, "No, I meant the World Wildlife Fund." What, like Hulk Hogan and that? No. Like, it just makes me,
fabulous.
Yeah, absolutely. 2002, the infamous plane ride from hell occurs, which sees a number of WWE superstars cause chaos mid-air, helicopters and the whole lot. A flight back from a European tour as a direct result of the incident. Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig are both fired. Where did you first Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig?
Imagine Kurt Hennig being on a plane and seeing everything and going, who could I rib? Oh yeah, Brock Lesnar. What could go wrong? My God. Yeah. No,
I actually had a few drinks with Jackie in the old. Remember the WWE World in Times Square? I had the pleasure of going in there. I had a Big Show burger, and then I had a few drinks at the bar. Big Show was there, and Jackie was there, and she was an absolute. She was fantastic, to say the least. 2007, Edge cashed in his newly won Money in the Bank briefcase to claim the World Heavyweight title from The Undertaker. It was Edge's second successful cash-in of the Money in the Bank case after first doing so in January 2006.
Gutter snipe.
How he misses those days. 1994, an extremely rare non-televised Royal Rumble match was held on a WWE house show in Osaka, Japan. The Undertaker won the bout after last eliminating Bam Bam Bigelow. There you go.
Japanese house show Rumble.
There you go. A Japanese house show.
Sounds wrong.
Never knew that.
Doing a Rumble in Japan and not even filming it.
There you go. 1985, the first ever episode of Saturday Night's Main Event is taped at the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. The most high-profile match on the card saw Hulk Hogan take a disqualification win over Bob Orton with Hogan's WWF Championship on the line. And
Great
the last
main event.
What a great way to kick off a brand new historic program, a DQ win for the world title in the main event.
Incredible.
Yeah. Saturday Night's Main Event is actually coming up. They're doing another one quite soon with Cena.
That's right.
May. Oh, we're in May. Yeah.
Yeah, it is May.
Yeah.
I keep thinking today's April. It's so weird.
Oh my God.
No, should be good.
Yeah, sure. It's probably about 4 days after Backlash. Doesn't need any build-up or anything.
4 hours. There's so much on.
It's the post-show.
Yeah.
2001, it was announced via press release that Vince McMahon owned XFL, American Football League, would be closing its doors after just one season, primarily due to poor and declining ratings.
Yeah. I remember I actually have, do you know the WWF cookbook?
Yes.
Everyone has a recipe. I have that. Everyone has a recipe in there, and there's like a little thing Jim Ross writes beforehand. And for Eddie Guerrero, he said a great recipe to sit back and watch XFL action. And somehow that's even sadder than
Michael Hayes became the shower gremlin.
That'd be a gimmick.
Love it.
Like Psycho.
Right, some notable birthdays, which is bound to be interesting. 1988, Brooke Hogan. There you go. Notable birthday. It gets better. 1993, Will Ospreay. 1965, the King of Hearts' own Heart.
Oh.
Just for you, Sean. 1985.
His anniversary is coming up.
Which Sean?
But Sean one Tommaso Ciampa celebrates his birthday this week. Ain't got the beard.
Nice.
What you make of the beard gone? Huh?
He looks
Beard
like 40 years older when he shaves.
Yeah, he really does look older.
Yeah.
No.
Do you remember he grew hair during Black and Gold during COVID, and he looks like 90.
Yeah. He looked like the granddad out of The Simpsons, so he did. It was quite disturbing.
Worse. He made the granddad from Simpsons look like a enthusiastic youth. It was shocking. I'm so glad he got rid of that.
1953, Mr. Arriba won Tito Santana, who I met at WrestleCon. Absolute legend and a gentleman. And we rounded out with Wrestling Royalty, 1968, won William Regal.
Yeah.
Wow, what a man. What a man.
Legend.
You start off with Brooke Hogan and you end with William Regal. Yeah. It ain't too bad, is it?
It started here, then it went up. So that was.
Yeah. That's it. You're supposed to build the crowd. You're supposed to build the crowd to a crescendo, remember?
Normally it goes here and then it kind of trickles, and by the end, it's like hell. So.
Roll me in with the comment. Vince Mac, what a man. Shit's where he wants like a Jack Russell.
Jesus Christ.
And no one picks it up after.
Shave Ciampa looks like my nuts when I used the Gillette razor on the Bad Boys.
Old, grey, and crinkly.
Sponsored by Manscaped, Tommaso Ciampa. Sponsored by Manscaped. There you go. There you go. Well, lads, brilliant show as always. Really enjoyed it. So we will be back next week. There's no doubt with our review of Backlash, no doubt, and whatever other gouging is going on and whatever other stuff is going on in the world of professional wrestling. We'll probably have an in-memory portion of the show for Pat McAfee. No doubt. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes and everything else, and we'll see. Who knows? There might be even more releases and everything else to talk about.
Fucking
don't.
I hope not.
I'd rather Orton go over the more releases, honest to God. I'd rather Travis Scott show up again to get more releases.
No, Sean. Don't say that. No, Jesus. Come on.
Big up, Robbie. Legend. So from myself, from Sean Mack, from Bren, and from Sean O, it's good night from us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit a like as well. We're trying to pay for these 40 grand tickets at SummerSlam, so we'd appreciate all donations.
Stamps went up as well. I mean, like, it's inflation going through the roof.
That's it. And if you can't do that, then join us on Thursday for Thursday Tier Talk, where we'll be talking all things football, including the Champions League review, and we'll also be talking. Darren will be on to do as usual. Watch along of Man United, who are playing that night. Now we'll see how that goes.
They're playing in that up and coming league, isn't it? That New York, the most prestigious league in the world. They're calling it now the Europa League. That's where Manchester United are playing at the moment. I do believe.
I find teams find their level. That's all I'll say. It took me 30 years to get there, but teams find their level. There you go. Right, folks, have a great week. You boys, thanks for coming on. I always appreciate it. We'll have a bit of crack talk during the week and talk to you all again real soon. Cheers, folks.
Great to see everyone. All the
next week we're going to have the Sean positivity meter. It's going to be kittens and puppies on it, and it's going to be lovely.
I think we're going to have a 4 horseman version of the anger meter.
Are we?